Alright, and welcome back to another episode of AchromatiCraft. Wow, last time we got this thing in, it was a lot of work, but not necessarily building it. It was more getting all that quartz. So today, I figured we're going to have to be trading a lot with our villagers so that we're not in the nether all the time getting all that quartz. Because I really want to use a lot of quartz out here in the desert district. So what I'm thinking today is that we're going to build this. All right, and to build that, we're going to need to figure out where we put it. And you already got a glimpse because I just gave you a glimpse of what it's going to be. But we have all these villagers. And so this should be fairly easy because I don't think most of them have occupations. It looks like they are all without occupations. And somehow this village has plenty of villagers. So one thing we gotta do is find a spot and then we'll start building. So let me jump up here. I'm gonna look for a location to build our farm out. And then I'll bring you back. So let me find that location real quick. Well, I've been putting a lot of thought behind this, probably more than I needed to. I've been flying around a bunch because this area is kind of weird with these two hills and then this big mountain of sand. I'm not quite sure how I'm thinking about doing it. So what I've been trying to figure out is like, where might I eventually put a trading hall? Because every district needs a trading hall. And I feel like the trading hall's got to be somewhat close to there. And so I thought, does it go over here? Do we put it over here? And so far, I don't know. So maybe what we'll do is just build this farm, get it in, and just be happy with what it is until we either move it or, incorporate it somewhere else. I'm totally lost on this one. Most projects, I have a great idea of where I'm going to put it. So we're just going to go for it. Let's build it out. If we have to move it later, that's fine. I'm going to start building it now. I should probably sleep, and then we'll start working on it. All right, I think I've finally got something roughed out here. I decided to kind of just be close. So the trading hall still might go here in the future, but I don't know. So we're just going to build something. And I've got a concept of having two different farms and then having like a little house here. So we'll have a villager in here where this person comes over and they try and shoot it to this person, but it falls down the hole. So that's hopefully the farm type we're going to have. And it's going to be two portions. Now I've got some blocks in here marking it. That's obviously not what we're going to use, but I wanted to at least get the shape build out. So now what I'm going to do is see if I can get all of this farmland in. And we'll at least get a temporary wall around the villagers so that then we can get them going, get the plant or the crops growing in here. And I better go sleep again. Man, days go by too fast. All right, and this is going to be a very buildy episode, I realized, because we really got to get this farm in. I want to make sure that we have all the quartz that we're going to need. And so we're going to need a lot of ways of trading with the villagers. So this might just be one. We might even have to go extra layers on here. But we're going to need lots of crops. Oh, we should probably do sugarcane in this area too. But this is going to be another one of those farms we're going to have to hide because it's going to be so much color. If you remember kind of from our first village, we were all over, or we had all that orange and green all over the place. So this one we're going to have to figure out what this building looks like that surrounds this. That might be a little tricky because this is going to be pretty big now that we're kind of blocking this out. So maybe we'll make it look like a row of houses or something. I don't know. But we need, and maybe I'm overthinking it, and we just need to have a bunch of stuff come in and then we'll change it up later. But let's get it started. So I'm going to do this back over there on the other side, keep filling in with dirt. We'll get out our hose and we're going to get this filled in. And sometimes you get really lucky when the villagers naturally pathfind for you, and it did it on both sides. So I just put some trap doors here to let them in because they were pathfinding to it. I think there's a guy, yeah, he pathfinded to my stone cutter. But that was the easiest thing I've done. So I put some beds in there so they can sleep at night. And we might use these guys just to do regular trading too if we need to. I don't know, we might even get some more. But either way, luckily they pathfind in nicely for us. So we're gonna get some stone hose real quick, get this going, give them plenty of carrots. Probably have to go over to the other district, get carrots and potatoes. We'll do one side carrots, one side potatoes, and we should be good. So let's get those hose and carrots and potatoes. All right, got those hose, and we got plenty of carrots and potatoes from over at our medieval district. So what I'm gonna do is actually just chuck a bunch of these in my inventory. And as we go, let's see if we can get these guys, or gals, I don't know what they are, to maybe help us with it. So I'm gonna chuck a few extra carrots for them. See if we can get some planted, or some places for them to plant, and see if they'll start planting for us. I don't know what the requirements are for them to start planting. Do they have to have a bunch? I don't know, but let me get this kind of figured out. We'll see if we can get them to start planting on this new soil, and I'll be back. Well, these guys not only figured it out, but they also created a baby. I don't know where that guy's gonna go. Hopefully he kind of sneaks out the door here. But that's awesome to see. We got him at least planting a few carrots. Maybe we help him out a little here and plant a few more. See if we can give him the right idea. And hopefully that baby leaves here. But we're gonna plant this out for him. And I put 2 villagers in here. I don't know if that's overkill. We'll start it, but I figured if they're always getting the carrots, then hopefully that means they're always throwing them back in. So let me keep doing this. I'll do the potato side, and then I'll be back with you. All right, a little bit time later, we've got this. It took me a minute, but we got them in there with a bed. I don't know why they keep trying to make love, but they do. They want to make more babies around here. But we got one on each side. What I realized is that if I had 2 of the same people in here, they were always just going to throw stuff to each other and never to this guy. So I had to move one of them out. And now we've only got 1 in each side. So hopefully this will be our carrot side. This will be our potato side. And I guess I should show you what I had to do with all the others. Oh man, there's still one more guy out. These villagers just kept coming and coming over into this area. So what I had to do is break all their beds, and we moved them down in here. So we at least have a temporary holding pen. We're going to do this until we can get a trading hall. We got to get that trading hall up because these guys love to keep breeding. So I'm going to keep working on this, but at least there's an update for you. And I realized I should have shown you what we're doing with the carrots. So, or with both of the crops. So we have one, which, wow, that's awesome. I didn't even know there would be any carrots in there, and potatoes over here. So nothing in there. It's what I expected. Just barely got this installed. So we have a lot of work left to do because, as you can see, let me fly out here. Those are some big old ugly gray boxes. Now what we're going to have to do is try and make them look like they belong here. So one of my ideas is to actually, instead of one big building, oop, face planted there, we'll probably make this look like a row of houses or something similar to what we have when you look down here. Is these sand villages tend to have like grouped houses together. So I think we're going to do something like that to make this look a little bit nicer. Now I'm going to go grab some quartz, grab some of the other kind of materials that we used to build a nether portal, and we're going to start seeing if we can put some kind of shell on this to make it look nice. So let me go grab those, and then we will start building. And what was once a big old gray box is starting to turn into something. I hope this is easy to see for you. I've gone through this so many times in my head. But let's fly around maybe. But as you can see, we tried to take those 2 gray boxes and turn it into a whole row of houses. So let's fly up here a little bit for a second. And you can see the concept's there, but don't peek too hard because the whole backside is still just a work in progress. So there's a lot to still finish here. We wanted to bring you in and let's just kind of see this work in progress of where we are. Wanted to see if this style, let's land here, would look good for what we're going to do here. And I think this is turning out awesome. Tried to take some of the ideas from this, not too many, but at least the color palette, using some of the quartz, incorporating that. I don't want to make every building out of quartz. So we incorporated, maybe it's easier if I show you. Some of these buildings are actually just made out of diorite, calcite, wool, white concrete powder. So I wanted to still be able to keep that, but give it a little bit more texture so that not everything was quartz. Then with the quartz, I mixed in the mushroom stems. So it looks like maybe it's gotten dirty over time. I think it'll make more sense once we get some of the landscaping in. But that is where we're at so far. And by the way, yeah, these doors don't go anywhere. Those are blacked out windows. We use some black concrete. So these don't go anywhere, really just big facades. We'll have plenty of other buildings, but this is covering an important thing. It's going to help us keep trading for this quartz. And so we'll let it run. I'll keep building and we'll get there and we'll see what it looks like when we get finished. Okay, and a full day, real life day later, we finally got this. It was so much work. Getting the quartz, getting the stuff. We made a lot of trips back to the main village. And I think we finally got there. Now we've got the landscaping obviously to do, which we'll finish some of that in this episode. Not really sure if you can see around this side what to do because of how much there's a hole here. But let's not worry about that just yet. Let's focus on what this thing looks like. So what you'll be able to see is this is kind of different from every side. Wanted to make sure that it felt like it was different homes. So on this side, we kind of got a little walkway up, goes to a door. We got this little house. And again, keep in mind, these are all just facades. We have our big farms inside of there, but we want to not make this look like one massive building, but a whole bunch of little buildings that came together for a village. So like villagers maybe live here. We might have to add a little more excitement, some trees. We'll do all that with the landscaping. Give you another peek at the front here. So it's coming together pretty well. And it looks like we're also getting quite a bit. I don't know why the carrots are so much slower than the potatoes, but that's all right. Maybe they're eating them while they work. Now, I think we're going to use some of this same style throughout the rest of the city. Obviously, I tried to vary it up with either different little overhangs over the windows or the lights or the way door frames are framed. I tried to repeat that a few times. So hopefully we have some ideas here. This was quite a bigger build than I expected, but I think it's going to help us really pan out the rest of the city and kind of understand between this look and what we put over there. I think it's going to give us some good styles to really build out here. Now, the next thing I need to do is replace the sand. That's going to be a lot of work because I don't plan on just taking out like the top layer. I kind of want to see how much sand is here. And then we might put like down some dirt and then put on our grayscale landscaping on top of that. And the only reason I would do that much work is we go through a lot of sand. So the more that we can take out of here, the better. So before I start doing the landscaping, let me kind of strip the sand out of this area, get it all ready. Then we'll put kind of a dirt layer on, and then we'll put on our grayscale on top of that. So let me go do that real quick and I will be right back. And now the sand is gone. You can see I've got a whole inventory full of sand, plus a full double chest down there. This was a lot of sand. It was built up all the way to this doorstep, if you don't remember, and then came down. So that seems like I'm destroying the landscaping, and I guess I am. But we have so much sand around here that I want to use it for all the other projects we're going to be working on. So that's fine. I'm actually going to go grab now some grass, and we're going to fill in this portion And I'll kind of give you a little glimpse of down here. What this looks like is this hill is completely gone. This is how deep that sand was. So we were able to dig out. We got a lot here. This is going to be good for the concrete powder we need to make. And we actually need to make some for this area. So I'm going to go get some dirt, some gravel, and then the dyes that we're going to need to start making it. And maybe let's jump over to my sheep farm real quick. I want to show you what we've been stockpiling. For any of those of you who are new, you might not know about my sheep farm, but inside of here, maybe let's jump in. I'll do a quick little show and tell. And it looks like we're running out of shears for some of these. All right, we got something to do. It looks like maybe we only have this one going. We have all the different color of sheep in here. And what this allows us to do is kind of stockpile a lot of this wool that we add into our gray grass. Didn't want it to just be straight concrete powder or straight wool. Wanted it to have a little texture to it, since we don't get much texture in gray. But that thing shoots out and it has a water stream here, and then it puts it into the different chests. And as you can see, we have plenty of light gray stored up. So I'm going to go ahead, grab a bunch of this. Going to put it in our box, and this is going to help us start making the terrain out there. So let me grab some of this. I'll grab some of the other things we just mentioned, and I'll meet you back at the desert. All right, and we have our dye and sand, our gray wool, light gray wool, our gravel, and some extra backup sand. So we'll get this. This is all the stuff we're going to need when we put it on top. But the first thing we got to do is figure out what this new landscape is going to look like, because as you can see, we have a pretty big cliff and there's a door. So some of what we're going to need to do here is figure out like how far out do we need to come, because I want a road that comes up here. So maybe I should map out some of that, but I want to flatten out a little bit up here so at least it looks nice. Then we can always terraform it down into the valley. So let me start that. I'm going to do some rough outlines of kind of the shape that we want, see if it looks good, where pathways might go, and then we'll fill it all in. I might get sick of blazing dirt, and I still got to put the layer on above this. But what you can see is I start drawing some lines of dirt. You can see an example over there and kind of the outline, and then just filling it in. Now I've got a little bit of a straight edge here, which we'll take care of because that looks pretty bad. But the rest of it, I tried to make as natural as possible. As you know, the terrain doesn't generate in nice smooth lines. So I tried to have some different jut outs. And then the cobblestone here is going to be our pathway. I figure if you came up to the middle of this and then split to either door and wrapped around the side to the rest of the village eventually, I think that's going to be a pretty good plan, especially because I think over here, oh man, these troops keep coming in so many waves. But that's okay, we're not going to get distracted by them. But the path will eventually come down, and I think we're going to put a trading hall in here, which I think will be a pretty good, cool spot. We might take these hills down, I don't know. But the next piece that we need to do is, let's fly down here real quick, is we're going to start making, and I'm not going to make it all here real quick, I'll just make it enough so you can kind of see what we're going to do. Is we're going to take an outline. Let's make that gray concrete powder. Perfect. So essentially all of this place or all the stuff that is in here is going to just be kind of the underlayment. So we're just placing on top so that it helps us not fall through, because obviously concrete powder falls through. But we just go through and we're just gonna, and I'm gonna mess up of course, but we're just gonna go through and just kind of start placing it on top. Now I'll probably start by outlining the roads first, just so we can roughly see what we're dealing with road wise. But this is how easy this landscape is. Tedious? Yeah, probably. But we just come through and just keep making it up. Let's see how this is already looking. Yeah, see, it's going to be super easy. So I'm just going to go through. That's why we put all this dirt, save the terracotta, is for us to just run through, start making what this terrain's going to look like. And sooner than you realize, we're going to have it done. So I'm just going to keep placing here. And pretty soon we're going to have this. Half of the landscaping done for this. Well, maybe not half. We still need to do all the way around the back and the sides. But this took a long time between the light gray wool and concrete. That was a lot of placing. Plus I went down here and did the old torch under a carpet trick. If you haven't seen those, just putting the torch under there and covering it. So that way it'll be lit up at night, but when you walk through here, it'll just look like a desert. And let's take a quick view from the sky. Get one last time. Oh yeah, this is gonna be really cool. I mean, you think about once we get this landscaping wrapped around, it's going grayscale. All of this yellow's getting out of here. Can I land this? Oh, like a pro. But this is gonna be awesome when you think about this spreading out throughout this whole area with the building sitting on top. I'm excited. This is going to be a cool desert village, desert district. And that's going to be it for today. That was a lot to get done. We got so much more that we can do. But please let me know if you have ideas or imagery for what kind of buildings could be in here. There's so much opportunity here. So let me know down in the comments. Thanks for watching. And make sure to like this video if you liked it. It really helps me out to know what kind of content y'all like to see. So thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you soon.